During the 72-73 season, Leaf scout Jerry McNamara headed to Sweden to check out a young left winger named Inge Hammarström. During the game, McNamara's attention was caught by another Swede, 22-year-old defenseman Borje Salming. McNamara made his way down to the dressing room. "I don't know how he talked his way inside the door," Salming said, "but he gave me his card and asked right away, 'Do you want to play for the Toronto Maple Leafs?'" Salming and Hammarström arrived in Toronto for training camp in the fall of 1973. Borje was given legendary Leafs defenseman Bob Bond's number 21, and on opening night, the Swedish ambassador to Canada dropped the ceremonial first puck. The European invasion of the NHL was underway. Salming was talented. He put up strong numbers in his rookie season, but he had to endure a great deal of adversity along the way. Being a pioneer is never easy. The mid-70s was a tough time to be a hockey player, to be an outsider. It was the era of the Broad Street bullies. "It was tough because they really tried to kill you," said Salming. "If they did some of those things today, they would be suspended for life." It didn't take long for Borje to endear himself to all Leafs fans. Following the game between Sweden and Canada in the 1976 Canada Cup at Maple Leaf Gardens, when Salming was introduced, he received a thunderous ovation from the Canadian crowd. His was longer and louder than any other player received, even Bobby Orr. I'll never forget our game in Toronto. The fans gave me a standing ovation during the introductions. I was representing my country, and Canadian fans gave me a standing ovation. Meanwhile, back in Sweden, the father of a 5-year-old, Matt Sundin, directed his son's attention to the television screen to witness the reception that a Swedish hockey player was receiving on another country's ice. Borje Salming would enjoy 16 seasons in Toronto, playing in 1,099 games. He remains the highest-scoring defenseman in Leaf history and the club's all-time leader in assists. He also led the Leafs in stitches, receiving over 200 at once, following a skate to the face in a game against the Detroit Red Wings in 1986. Salming was twice a runner-up for the Norris Trophy as the league's best defenseman. He was named a first or second team All-Star on 6 occasions, a feat that no other Maple Leaf has ever achieved. In 1996, he became the first Swedish player inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame. 10 years later, his number 21 was raised to the rafters at Air Canada Centre. George Armstrong would say Borje Salming was the most talented player to ever wear a Toronto Maple Leafs uniform.